And there's the Be Live chirp again. It loves me. I tell you what, we are back on Be Live for one night only because I promise you I will have a phone by tomorrow night. Holy crap. That, man, I've had a bad week. I mean, I really had a bad week. Monday, I couldn't do the show because I was stuck with a broke down truck. And that was hell in itself. We ended up leaving the truck where.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we got it. We towed it by chain with the chain in our van to a little truck stop, and we left it there. Hopefully somebody will steal it or at least vandalize it enough to where the insurance will
cover it.
Yes, but. Our fuel pump went out, and doing some research on that, I found out that it's going to be roughly about $7,000 to fix this and to tow it back and fix it. It's going to be right around $7,000. Now, this truck is barely worth $7,000. I mean, it's a 2002 Dodge 3500 series diesel truck. Yes, I know diesels hold their value a whole lot better than gas do, but I know what this truck has been through. And it is not worth $7,000.
No, 7,000. No.
Nah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I know. That was brutal. I felt so bad for you that you were stuck out there and stranded and man, but that's okay. It gave me a chance to do some stuff that I needed to do because we're just rocking and rolling at Mile High Radio. So we've got all kinds of people coming on board and meeting fantastic people. So give me a chance to do that. But I missed not having our show. And so,
well, it's good news, bad news type of thing. Well, actually, we started with bad news and went to good news. So that's all. That's a way to kind of pick things up. But then I got to finish her off with a little bit more bad news because last night I was stuck at a house doing some plumbing work, retying in a guy's sewer. Did you know shit runs uphill?
Really?
Apparently, that's what the people who installed this sewer system in this guy's house, they thought that shit rolls uphill because it had the nice long, swoosh down, but then all of a sudden the last 8 feet of it or so ran back uphill. And I asked the guy, I said, "Hey, look, are you having a hard time, flushing your toilet?" He says, "Well, yeah." I said, "How long has it been like that?" "Oh, I suppose since 2013. I said, "And you'd never thought to look underneath your damn house to figure out whether or not, your plumbing was messed up?" He said, "No, it never occurred to me."
Well, no. Why would it occur to some regular person who doesn't do plumbing?
Well, you'd think if I'm having trouble flushing the normal, I mean, these pipes are 3 inches around. If you're clogging up a 3-inch pipe regularly, I'm not talking about just, the toilet, because the toilet, that can get clogged up from time to time. I get it.
Yeah.
But a 3-inch pipe getting clogged up on a regular basis, there is something going on. It's time to call somebody in.
For sure.
And don't call me next time, please. Hey, if you're watching the show tonight, do not call me next time.
Oh,
I'm not coming back. That was disgusting.
No doubt. No doubt. Wow.
So I didn't get to do my show Raw and Real last night because that incident. And I broke my phone all the same time.
God.
So, I've had such a wonderful, wonderful start to my week. Thank God it's Wednesday.
Yeah, God. Holy cow. Well, it's all good now. We're here, we're happening, we're live, and hopefully Be Live is going to be kind to us tonight. Have I frozen up yet?
No, you've been great.
Oh, yay.
And
awesome.
Whether you freeze up or not, it always freezes you on the most perfect facial expression.
No, it doesn't ever. So doesn't ever. I'll just sit here like a statue so I don't have that awful look.
But anyways, tonight on Grit and Grace TV, it's the holiday season. And in order to celebrate that holiday season, we decided we were going to talk about that one thing that nobody likes to talk about during the holidays, and that is that holiday weight gain.
Da, 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 da.
What we can do to control it. I'm sure by now all of you, as well as myself, have said sayonara to those New Year's posts or those New Year's resolutions. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that we put to bed back in February.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's get a kickstart on 2018, and let's do something a little bit different this year.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So
Talking about that stuff. Oh.
So to prepare for tonight's show, I'm not going to tell you I went to the gym because I didn't all week this week. I didn't go to the gym, but I do like going to the gym a lot. And but in order to prepare for tonight's show, I actually brought some of those topic questions out because there seems to be a very common theme when it comes to people talking about fitness, both in men and women, which is really ironic because the fact that we're a man and a woman and we're both over 40, and those seem to be the people who are more concerned about, you know, losing weight or getting back in shape or staying fit. You know, there's that second chapter of our lives. We don't want to treat our bodies like a college party anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I certainly can't. Holy cow. I can't. It takes me too long to recover, but yeah. And like you said, when you get older, then things are different. And so people are probably watching going, what the hell do you two know about fitness and nutrition and weight loss? And well, you've done personal training with people.
I'm glad they've asked that question, to be honest with you.
Well, that's not something you and I talk about, but
no, it's not.
It's not normal, right? And it's not something we normally talk about, but it's something we both experience. You have experience as a personal trainer. I have experience as I've done some herbalist training. So I trained as a herbalist about 20 years ago, and I've used those things. And then we both have our own things that we deal with in terms of weight loss and some things that I particularly went through. And for women that get into middlehood, there's different things that start coming into play that affect weight loss. So you hear about a lot of women, in their 40s, it's like, or women, getting into menopause. I'm gaining weight. I don't know what's going on. So
I think a lot of people struggle, especially when they get into that 30s time frame. That's when the trouble starts. Because right around 30, we start getting locked into our careers, and we start getting locked into raising families and things like that. And we start struggling with taking care of ourselves. In our 20s, of course, we're going to take care of ourselves. In our late teens and early 20s, we look amazing. But about the 30s, it's not so much about what we look like. It's more about how we can provide. And we forget that in order to be healthy and to be able to provide for a long period of time, we need to maybe take that fitness and that nutrition a little bit more seriously.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And the fact that this has turned into like, I don't even remember the number. This industry is like billions of dollars.
Yeah, $5.5 billion industry.
Yeah, and there's so many companies out there and people that are, starting up, getting into direct marketing and sales and all these weight loss things and these crazy fad diets, and it's unbelievable the money that floats around with these things.
Just in the last year, let's back that up. Last year and a half, I would say, two really good friends of mine have jumped into that arena themselves. Dave Daly, the Monster Motivator, he has come out with a supplement line for men to help boost their testosterone naturally, and which is something that I'm sure you're probably familiar with, more of that herbalistic style of natural testosterone boost.
Yeah.
And then we've got Rocco Famora, who has created a coffee with a protein supplement in the coffee. So you can literally get your caffeine buzz in the morning, whatever it is that you're using your caffeine for in the morning, and still be able to kind of boost that protein intake. Because as we get older, we need them.
What's the protein in it?
It's I'm not sure exactly what the protein it is. Wow. I know it's a tasteless protein. It's a proprietary
wow.
type of protein. But I tell you what, I have had his coffee.
Is it good?
It's fantastic. I like to drink the coffee before I go work out, because I don't like taking stimulants. So a lot of people, when they go to the gym, they'll take some kind of stimulant to help get them through their workouts. Mm-hmm. Personally, I like to just do something a little bit more natural with caffeine, since that's what's in most of those supplements anyways, is caffeine. So I'll drink a cup of coffee and that'll get me through my workout. But with this type of coffee with the protein in it, I can actually preload my protein, which is something I can talk about a little bit later. But I'll preload my protein. That way my body's already starting to utilize that and break that down to be able to build the muscle that I'm looking to build. Mm-hmm. So, that's how I use that product.
Huh. Yeah, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of those products that's what they have caffeine in. And I drink a lot of coffee. And there's one, and I'm not going to name it, but there's one that I tried because I network a lot and I get to know a lot of people. And, there's people that, approach you and will offer samples and things like that. And I always look at them and I always read the labels to see, because they always say, natural and there's herbs in them. So I always read the labels to see, because I want to see what exactly, are the herbs in there. And yeah, most of them do have caffeine, but there was one that I tried, and you had to take some pills in the morning and pills at night and have a shake or something. I actually was shaky. Like, I felt like I was vibrating, and I thought, holy cow, like, this is kind of freaky. And I drink a lot of coffee. So, it gives that false sense of, oh my God, I'm so energized.
I think a lot of the supplements out there, they rely a lot on caffeine. But the other thing, they want that quick boost, that quick jump start. So then what they do is they pack it full of sugar. Yeah. Because sugar will give you that natural, or that not natural, but it'll get you that quick up. Yeah. And then caffeine to sustain. And chances are, if you're feeling jittery, I mean, there's other things that people put into these supplements other than just caffeine, but for the most part, the only experiences I've ever had where I've gotten really jittery have been with those that contain sugar, because it'll spike. It just gives you that quick spike, and it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I don't drink a lot of sodas, and I don't have a lot of sugar in my diet anyways. So when I do put a little bit in there,
you would notice it.
That insulin spike really knocks me out. And now, one of the other things that people aren't aware of, and I know weight gainers are popular, and diet drinks are popular, like Slim Fast, things like that.
Yeah.
Here's what a lot of people don't realize. They're virtually the same thing. A Slim Fast shake and a weight gainer. Now, two completely different reasons for taking these, right?
Yeah.
One's a meal replacer.
Yeah.
One's a meal additive, but they both share the same exact ingredients. The only difference is how they tell you to take it.
Oh,
yeah, it's crazy. It's like, oh, I'm on Slim Fast and I'm gonna get super skinny because I'm drinking the Slim Fast. But then they start eating regular diet, or they eat like they normally eat. Just because they drink a Slim Fast doesn't mean it's gonna make them skinny. It just means that they're adding extra calories to their and sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, look how much sugar is in a Slim Fast shake. Oh,
Yes, there is a lot of sugar in that. Yeah.
I thought it was funny back in the early days when protein shakes were starting to get real big. They used to taste horrible,
Yeah.
absolutely disgusting.
Well, so does Slim Fast.
Well, yeah,
When it first came out, I was taking it when it first came out. There weren't a lot of things like that. Like we're talking like this is over 20 years ago.
yeah, we're talking early 90s to mid 90s.
Yeah.
And it's funny, these things, they tasted so horrible. So what they did was they started mixing protein powders with cake batter. Virtual cake batter. That's, if you look at the ingredients in cake batter, in those pre-mixed cake batters, and you look at the ingredients in a protein shake, add eggs and milk, and you are baking a cake. Boiled down to the amount of sugar that was in them to make them taste somewhat palatable. I mean, it was obscene.
Yeah. Gross.
But this is part of that $5.5 billion industry.
Well, they've gotten better now, though. They're a lot better now. A lot of these products that have come out. I remember a few years ago. I don't know if you ever heard of Zija.
No.
That was huge here. A lot of people I knew, I was seeing it all over online. Now that was a really good. They had natural products. They had a herb in there called moringa. And that is a natural herb, and it's very good to boost your metabolism. But the thing is you could go to the health food store and buy like a huge bag of it, and look at, you're eating a little bit. The problem with a lot of these things is you have people who don't understand how the body works, who aren't trained in and herbal supplements, who aren't trained in things like that are selling these products to people that don't really understand. And then people come to them and say, hey, like this really, I was doing the funky chicken on the floor last night. I don't really get what, like, I'm kind of worried. And then they're giving advice on this, and, oh, that's normal. That'll pass. And so that is a little bit of one of my complaints about it. And, all these things have great products in it. But the thing, too, is that that's not what you might need. Maybe your metabolism isn't the issue. Maybe your issue is hormones. Maybe your issue is your thyroid. Like, so there's some really good products out there, but that may not be the thing that you need.
Right. And I always tell people before getting on any type of diet or fitness program, check with your doctor, get a full panel done, find out where your baseline is before you actually start working out, because that's the only way you're going to find out if you're actually getting healthy.
Yeah.
Just because you look better in the mirror, just because you have fewer pounds on the scale, doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting healthy. Mm-hmm. You can be doing some severe damage to your body by doing the things that you think are right, but you're actually tearing your body down. That's the whole concept of a fitness program, is to tear your body down so you can rebuild it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, for women my age, for me, so my thing, I've lost quite a bit of weight over the last couple of years. Well, before that, it was a slow process. You're slowly changing things, and I had some health issues come up. So, I'd gotten off sugar and corn and wheat and all that stuff. So I could see how my body reacted. And, I definitely, and then I started doing smoothies and bringing in more vegetables and things into, I freeze my ass off all the time, Ashley, all the time. And I live in Canada, so we hunt and we wear our furs. So, that's what I'm doing. So, I had changed what I ate big time, so I lost weight. But I found that I was estrogen dominant. So my hormones were out of whack. And so I knew that for myself. And once I addressed that, I had this great progesterone cream that I would rub on my stomach. And I was taking some natural pills to deal with this estrogen overload that I was getting, which eventually led to the hysterectomy I had a couple months ago. But once I started addressing that issue, oh my God. I mean, I didn't even really had to change, although I'd cleaned up what I ate a lot. Like, I was just losing weight, like, because that was my issue, was my hormones. But a lot of people, if you don't know what your issue is, then you can't really address it. And for women in middle age, and I want to give a shout out to, find somebody to help you. And somebody who's fantastic at that is Diana Marchand. And you can go to her website, dianamarchand.com. That's MARCHAND. That's what she focuses on. She helps women that are reaching middle age, that are getting that weight gain, that they don't understand what's going on. They're dealing with all these new things that's different from when they were in their 20s and their 30s, like what's going on. Find somebody that can help you. I, had a couple great women that helped me out, but you got to find what your issue is.
Right, exactly. And I want to just tail that with something Jim said here. It says,
I don't drink. I'm not really a drinker. So
Jim says, I have a lot of health issues. The doctors have not been able to figure out what I am dealing with. So I started to exercise to try to help, and I'm struggling. And here's the thing. There are so many things. The human body is such a complex organism.
Friggin' hell yeah.
My wife struggles with a disease called Brock-Simon syndrome. She's one of 236 people who have this, who are known to have this disease. And it's the same thing. She goes to the doctor. There's times where we've been at the emergency room 3-4 o'clock in the morning, 4 nights out of the week. And then there's times where, things are really smooth and things don't bother her so much. But they tell her the same thing. They don't know exactly what's wrong with her, what's causing her pain and all this kind of stuff. So she's done the same thing. She had done the same thing. She went to the gym. She started working out. And she started feeling a little bit better, but she was still having the complications and still having the pain. The only thing that the working out did, it helped relieve the stress. And one thing that doctors know is that the more stress your body is in, the more anxiety that you feel surrounding whatever it is in your life, the higher the pain concentration is going to be. So a level 3 pain would be normal for a lot of people. Just say 3 pain is getting out of bed and you get some achy joints from working hard the day before or whatever. But you start adding stress and anxiety and things like that to it. All of a sudden that level 3 will turn into a level 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
And it's all because of the added cortisol that's in your body induced by the stress. So Jim, working out is probably a good thing for you as long as you're working out within your doctor's guidelines. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to tell you what those guidelines should be, but I'm just saying, before doing any type of strenuous exercise, make sure you get your doctor's kind of plan, if you will, to kind of help you what's the word I'm looking for, to kind of help guide you through that workout process.
And here's where I'll disagree with you. Forget doctors, because they know squat about shit like that. They, and one thing, say for example, doctors' tests. Their tests aren't as definitive. So if you've gone to the doctor over and over, I highly recommend you go to a naturopathic doctor, because their tests are much more precise. They will do tests like hair analysis. A doctor doesn't do that. Hair analysis can pick up a lot of stuff. Try try the alternative route, because let me tell you, I've gotten a lot more help that way. I mean, definitely go to the doctor because you want to let them know what you're doing, and it's needed for health insurance purposes and stuff. But when you have exhausted them and they're like, well, we don't know, go to a naturopathic doctor and get some more definitive. They can go deeper, because I'll give you an example. I went to the doctor one time for something completely unrelated, and the doctor was
he says, where do I find one of these plant doctors?
Naturopathic doctor actually does, their first 4 years is the same as a regular MD. So they learn a lot of the same things. Then they veer off to the more natural. So, but just Google it. Just look for a naturopathic doctor in your area. But I had gone to the doctor for something, and he was looking at my neck, and he was touching my neck. And I was like, I'm thinking, what the hell? And he goes, you're sort of goiterish. And I'm like, goiter? What the hell is that? So he explained to me. Do you know what that is? No, goiter?
I've heard of it, but
so your neck, you have, I don't know. You have like, your neck is kind of big, right? It's inflamed. So it's has to do with your thyroid gland. And so he explained to me about this. So I had to go for a biopsy. Do you know how much freaking fun a biopsy on that is? You lay on a table and they stick a long ass needle straight into your neck and take fluid out of the growth. And I had to go for an ultrasound. So I had 2 big growths on my thyroid glands. Doctors send me for a test on my thyroid. It comes back in normal range. Hello, I have 2 giant growths in my thyroid. But you're telling me my thyroid is fine? No. So what I did then is, because I've been involved in the alternative and the natural for many, many years, and I'd done training in it, I knew exactly what I needed. And I went and got what I needed. And the alternative was, I have my thyroid removed and I have to take medication for the rest of my life. Totally unacceptable to me. And lucky me, I have a doctor that I tell him what I'm going to do. He doesn't tell me what I'm going to do. So I knew what I needed. I went and got it. I have no issues. I had another ultrasound. Growths are gone. Done. No surgery, no issues, no nothing. So, that's an example of the doctor's tests are only so good, and their range is so wide that you're telling me my thyroid's fine, but I've developed 2 large growths on my thyroid, and you're ready to like cut me open and take it out.
Wow. That is wow.
So, what it saved me was I took some really good Atlantic kelp that gave me the minerals that I needed. So usually it's a lack of good sodium, and table salt is crap. They've stripped everything out of it. So you don't want to ever use that. But there's really good like sea salt, Himalayan pink salt. I got really good quality Atlantic kelp, and I took that. And that will also help boost your metabolism. So that also helped with some weight loss as well. But that was an example of doctor's tests can only go so far. When you've exhausted that, find a naturopathic doctor. They can dive a little bit deeper.
And like I said, we're not giving medical advice here, because neither one of us are MDs by any means. And I'm glad you're from Canada, because if I told people that I trained here in the United States that don't worry about the doctor, just go see a naturalist, I could get sued.
We can here too.
Okay. So I am not against alternative medicines by any means, shape, or form, because I do enjoy going to see an acupuncturist especially when I've got some really tight knots and stuff.
Oh, that saved me when I had sciatic issues.
Right. I love that. Especially after I go to the gym. If I stay out of the gym for say 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then I go back and I hit it hard and heavy, like I never left, I'll pinch a nerve.
Yeah.
I run over to my local acupuncturist. They stick about 1 million needles in me. I'm right back at the gym the next day, like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. So. What's good is that they're trying to work together more. A lot of naturopathic doctors are, are coming into hospitals, and they are working together more. And it's funny because that was our medicine
I think
years ago.
I think you're seeing more and more of that in the privatization of hospitals.
Yeah.
A lot of these urgent cares or these smaller clinics, I think, are bringing in that natural healthcare just because they see the benefit. I mean, there is a benefit to all of it. There's so many things that were done for thousands of years that we've completely discontinued doing because, well, medicine has evolved. Well, no, medicine didn't evolve. What evolved was the fact that people thought that they had better ways to do things with medicines, and drug companies were able to pump so much money into these hospitals. It was, hey, you got a headache? Let's throw this drug at you. Oh, you've got a backache? Let's throw that drug at you.
Yeah.
So for so long, it was all about the pharmaceuticals. We completely forgot about the natural healing effects of a lot of plants and even animals. There are certain parts of animals that have healing tendencies or healing properties, I should say.
Yeah.
So
look at everything, right? There's options. Just look at everything. That's,
Now, one of the things that I found out with my weight loss, now people probably won't know this until I show them a picture offline, and I don't like showing this picture very often. But what people don't realize is about, 2010, I was 265 pounds. I measured myself around, and I was the exact same width around as I was tall.
You told me that before.
I'm 5'6" tall, and I was literally 5'6" around.
Wow.
It was.
You're like a weeble.
Weebles are big round at the bottom. I was big round.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Michelin man. And that's really what prompted me to start looking into what was going on with my body, because all through the military, I was pretty lean. I was fit.
Yeah.
I stayed in constant shape. Got out of the military. I took a job working in a call center because I needed something to bring some money in. Sitting at my desk, eating cheesy poofs, drinking soda, going home, drinking beer, just, completely forgot about all the crap that I did in the military to stay in shape. I just let my body.
Do you watch South Park?
Yeah. I got my cheesy poof. Anyways, so
that's good.
So yeah, I got fat. I just downright got fat. And I was an athlete in high school. I was an athlete in college. I played, semi-pro baseball after college. The military kept me, fighting fit, played, city hockey, city softball. I was always athletic, but I never really, understood what was going on with my body. And then in 2010, I remember I was at this water park, and you know what happens at water parks?
You get wet?
Well, other than that, people take pictures because it happened to be at a birthday party. Here I am sitting by my wife on one side, a really close friend of ours on another side, and I looked like a freaking whale.
Wow.
I was so embarrassed by that photo that I decided right then and there I was going to do whatever it took to get myself back into some kind of shape other than round. So that's
usually what does it, right? Years and years and years ago. Yeah. I remember I had gained a bunch of weight, and I saw a picture of myself and I thought, oh my God, like what has happened to me? It's so gradual, right? You don't see it. You're with yourself every day, and you know that you've gained some weight, but when you see a picture, you're like, holy freaking hell. Like what the hell?
Yeah. So, I mean, I did everything I could do. I started studying. Why is my body like this? Hey, Elisa, how you doing? Why is my body reacting the way it is? And during that time, I found out that we have different body type. You have the endomorph, the mesomorph, and the ectomorph.
Yeah.
And I found out I was very much an ectomorph, and my entire family's big. They're all heavy people. It's just the way my family is. So I was like, okay, I'm an endomorph. I can gain weight extremely fast if I am not active. But just as fast as I gain it, I can lose it if I become more active. So then I got back to the gym, just through the gym, started studying to be a personal trainer. I went from 265 pounds down to 210 pounds. And that's pretty much where I've stayed. That's where my body just has been comfortable, is at about 200, between 205 and 210.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, if it hadn't been for that photo, if it hadn't been for me being embarrassed by the way I looked, I never would have taken that step.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But it all comes down to two things. It turned into activity, not necessarily exercise, not going to the gym all the time, but just activity level.
Yes.
What you're doing, do you take the stairs rather than taking the elevator? Do you work in a job where you're static all day long? What do you do during that? Do you get up, walk around? You take those short breaks where you can be active, something. Do you stand at your desk? Did you know that even standing at a desk
burns calories?
Burns calories.
Even standing, yeah. So I always try and stand. I'd like to get a standing desk.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll build us a couple and I'll send one out to you.
Yeah, I would love a standing desk because I actually think a lot better. So when I'm with, talking to clients on the phone, I walk around the house because I think better when I move and I'm walking around. So a standing up desk would be great. I always think I got to get me one of those, and then I don't. But yeah, just moving, and don't make yourself do shit that you don't like running. I just don't get the running. I don't get it. I don't know why people run. I don't understand, but people like it. And everybody has different things. I tried to be a gym rat for 10 years. I paid my membership dues. And, summer would come, I wouldn't want to go. And then after 3 months of not going, I'd have to get my ass back in the gym. And that was hard to get back into the routine. And so I finally just admitted, look, you're not a gym person. Do the things you like. So I like walking. I like hiking. I like hula hooping. I have my own hula hoop. I can hula hoop. My office is big enough. In the summer, I can be in my backyard and hula hoop. I'm lucky enough to have a pool, an in-ground pool, so I will swim laps. So it's just, it is, yeah, just moving, doing something. Now, the only thing I do miss is the weight lifting, because that is good for you.
Yes, it is. And oh man, I love you. I love you for bringing that up, because I hear this so often. Especially from women. They're like, "Oh, I don't lift weights." I'm like, "Well, why not?" Well, because I'll get bulky. There is so much misinformation out on the internet about lifting for women. It's almost worse than bro science, if you know what bro science is.
No.
Okay, bro science is if you go on these forums and you talk about working out, every single person who is on a forum is a freaking expert. Every one of them.
Well, of course.
Every one of them will tell you the best way for you to get into shape or to build muscle or whatever. That is bro science. Well, with women, I would train a lot more women than I train men, because men, they've got that ego and they don't want to have a personal trainer, because all I got to do is get in there and grunt out some reps, man. And just got to grunt them out, lift heavy, go hard, go home. All that crap. Women don't have that ego. Women have that, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm relying on you for your guidance. And I'm relying on you to get my ass up out of bed and get me to the gym. Well, I can't really do that for them. I cannot get them out of bed and get them to the gym because, well, their husbands would shoot me if I came into their house at 4:00 in the morning. Yeah. But one of the things that I found is when working with women is I get them working out with weights. And the more they work out, the more tone they get, the more firm they get. And they just start loving how they look. Now, they don't lose the weight that they're looking for. So it starts bugging them. But then when I put them in front of the mirror and they're like, oh my God, I look amazing. These didn't hang here before. They're almost again. I mean, there's so many things that happen to them when they lift weights. It's like they're like, oh, I don't even care that I'm 145 pounds. Well, you shouldn't care that you're 145 pounds. You look amazing. You're like 6 foot tall and you're actually underweight. Get up there. Anyways, yeah. They're like, well, I'll get bulky. I don't want to get bulky. I'm like, well, you don't produce enough testosterone to be able to look bulky. It just doesn't.
Some women do, though. I've seen some, but they must be taking something.
Endomorphic body types, they will look blocky, but they won't get bulky.
Okay.
And the difference is, I mean, you can tell that if you look at a woman and she's got very squared hips, and match the shoulders, Now, I'm not talking about width wise. I mean, if the shape of their hips match the shape of their shoulders, that's endomorphic body style.
That's not me.
And they will get blocky the more they lift, but they will still firm and they still look beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with that body style. They just look more athletic, is what it turns out to be.
Yeah.
So. And it's a constant struggle trying to fight with what common perceptions and misconceptions versus what is actually going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And usually you end up losing that battle with those misconceptions, because things, like you said, it's a slow process. This isn't something that happens in 6 weeks. You can read all these different magazines, Women's Health, Men's Fitness, Muscle and Fitness His, Muscle and Fitness Hers, all these different magazines. And they will always have that perfect routine that you can do for 12 weeks and you can look like this in 12 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, bite me.
No, it's not possible. I mean, unless you're taking something that is extremely illegal in pretty much 90% of the countries in the world, it's not possible.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've heard of, massive weight loss with certain pills and stuff like that. And I kind of want to segue into the nutrition aspect of it, because only 10% of what we do is activity. Only 10%. Literally, you're looking at 50% of what we do to get the bodies that we want is 50% is nutrition. And the other 40% of it is rest. Believe it's rest.
Yes.
So I think that's another misconception a lot of people have, is they like, well, this diet says I can eat whatever I want as long as I take this pill and I don't even have to work out. Just take this pill.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen that?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And maybe if you need to lose like that 10 pounds in 2 weeks so you can fit into that dress, okay. But if you're wanting a long-term solution, once you go off that, your body's going to go back to the way it knows how to behave. That's why it's so important to find out about your body. I've heard also there was that book that had come out some years ago, Eat Right for Your Blood Type.
Yep.
So it's understanding how, what's going on with your body as you're changing, as you're getting older. Do you have food sensitivities? Do you have there's all kinds of different things. Everybody's body is different. And stress, so no rest. So you're stressed. Stress will give you weight gain. All of that. The other thing that I think is super important too is, it's really, you got to get into mindset too, really understanding what's going on. For a lot of people, they're hiding. Like, why are you hiding underneath that weight gain?
I talked to a gentleman about a year and a half ago now. He was on my show, Raw and Real, a while ago. His name is Matthew Park. He is the Canadian Natural Bodybuilding Association president. He also is the owner of R7 Energy Drinks. And this guy, he is also the mindset coach for like the Calgary Stampede football team.
Oh, cool.
And several other professional sports teams in Canada. And I want to say a few here in the United States as well.
Hey, Violet.
And I got a chance to sit down with him and talk to him. And actually, this was an interesting podcast because he actually flipped it around on me and he kind of worked me through the whole mindset process of what he goes through when he's working with an athlete.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting to find out that even though I had developed a certain mindset about my own personal fitness, there were still chinks in my armor. There were still gaps where failure could step in and say, "Ha ha, dumbass, you're not going to the gym today." But he really helped me identify some of my thinking errors, if you will, that would help me kind of combat that. Like there's days where I'm like, you know what? I just want to eat pizza today, all day long. Pizza. But I know with my body style and my body type and everything about who I am, if I ate pizza all day long, I would carb overload and I would just start absorbing water and I would gain 20 pounds within 2 days.
Yeah.
After eating that pizza,
Yeah.
But yeah, the mindset is such a huge thing because it's difficult. It's hard to stay on a clean diet, whether it's a keto diet, whether it's a paleo diet, whether it's just a clean, natural diet. It's hard to stay on these diets because our bodies get depleted of the things we're used to having. Chocolate, carbohydrates, all these things that our body craves because they're not good for us.
Yeah, addictive. But if you can get past that, if you can get over that hump, then your body starts craving the good stuff.
Yes.
So whatever it gets used to, if you can get over that, see, for me, it's not chocolate at all. And I'm not an alcohol drinker. I have to really be in the mood to have a drink. It tends to be in summertime, if I'm really hot, or Christmas time. I'm not a drinker. So that's not an issue for me. But once you do get over that, my thing is the salty. I like chips.
Yeah.
So, and I don't eat tons of that. It's not every day. It's not every week. But every once in a while, I like that. But once you do get over that hump of, God, I'm craving pasta or I'm craving whatever that is, then you can retrain your body. But yeah, I just so much prefer that, find somebody that can help you understand your body, go to the doctor, and then find someone else that can help you and, clean up your diet a little bit. And you just do little changes. Then you don't feel so deprived. Some people will just like cold turkey everything and they go hardcore right away. And then a week later, they're done and they give up and that's it. So, little changes.
I want to just comment about what Lauren just said here. It says, so true, plateau can adapt, change when it's supported nutritionally and emotionally. I want to just add to that. I am a firm believer that there's no such thing as a plateau. That's your body's natural way of telling you that you need more rest. Because your body can only recover. It can only rebuild itself when you're resting. When you're in an active state all throughout the day, your body is not rebuilding. So if you find yourself getting into a plateau, whether even if it's just dietary, regardless of what it is, it's your body telling you that you need rest, more rest. It needs to rebuild. It needs to restructure what it is that you've tore down. So but she's absolutely right though. Nutrition, a lot of things, a lot of people will disagree with me on this, and some people will agree with me on this. It takes up to 42 days for your mind to reset itself to a new plan, a new dietary plan, or a new workout plan, or whatever. And in that 42 days, your body is going to fight you all the way. It's going to want the chocolate or the salt or the whatever it is that you're kicking out.
Yeah.
And it's not because your body doesn't want to be healthy. It's because you're taking away that feel good, that whatever it is in that thing that makes you want it, it kicks up those endorphins. Anytime you kick out something that kicks up endorphins, your body's going to fight for it. So
it's like a kid that has a tantrum. They've been getting their way all that time, and then you put your foot down and they freak out and have tantrums.
But this is exactly why when we make that New Year's resolution, we're going to go to the gym, people don't make it past February because they've gone, say, 32 days, and that last 10 days is the hardest to get through. Your body is going to give you one last go. It is going to just send out all the troops and destroy your will to make it past 42 days. But I guarantee you, once you do, it's like the gates open up. It's like, whoa, what the hell just happened to me? I feel amazing. Keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what the hell that stuff was I was fighting for.
Yeah. I think you really need to find people that will help you. And Lauren Lola is a great person to connect with, to help you with that. And I mentioned Diana Marchand too. Diana Marchand is really focused on women and their hormones, women in midlife and their hormones. So if that's you, touch base with these two ladies, because Lauren, like, workout woman, holy cow. I watch her videos in the gym, and what she sets up for people, like, take a look at these different things and really sit down and don't rush to those quick things, because, they're not going to last. They're going to just set you up for failure. We know from personal experience. It's good food. It's understand your body type. It's understand your mindset. It's get some activity going. It's really not that difficult. You give your body what it needs. It's going to do its job.
I said at the beginning of the show, I was going to talk about the whole protein thing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about supplements. And I tried every supplement that I could think of, from pro hormones all the way down to the regular standard off the shelf supplements. Never done steroids, and I will never do actual anabolic steroids, because it's just what it'll do to your body is absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
But I made the biggest I had the biggest aha moment when I was broke, absolutely broke. I could not afford to go out and buy more supplements. So instead of buying supplements, I started looking at different foods that I was eating, and I started changing up how I was eating it. Not so much what I was eating, because I was eating a lot of fish. I was eating a lot of steak and but they were all grass-fed this and grass-fed that. I kind of went a little overboard with the natural foods. But I started looking at what I was eating and how I was eating it. And what I found out was, when I processed my chicken or my beef or my fish before I consumed it, I was able to break it down and digest it a lot more efficiently. And I made more gains in 6 months than I had in the previous 2 years, just by learning how to prepare my food. So my body, I could eat it. I could digest it.
Yes. Good point.
We have to constantly be trying things for our bodies, because I processed my food. And what I mean by process, I put it in the food processor, ground it up, and I put it on my salads or whatever like that. And I ate it that way. or I put it in my eggs and I made omelets and all that kind of good stuff. And had I not realized that my body has a hard time breaking down chicken and not so much fish, but I had a hard time breaking down chicken and beef.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to utilize all the protein in it because I just wasn't digesting enough of it.
Yeah.
When I realized that if I processed it, I could break it down a lot easier and I actually utilized more of it. It was like night and day, the difference. I mean, I have not spent a single cent on any kind of supplement other than that, the coffee with the protein in it.
Yeah.
And I also do another protein, which is a pure protein. I don't buy the chocolate tasting or the flavored protein.
The fancy powders.
I don't buy fancy powders.
Yeah.
I just get the regular protein and then I'll mix it in with a green smoothie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, green smoothies, you talk about a way to get your day started.
Oh, yeah.
Crap.
Yes.
And when I say crap, I mean it too. It will keep you cleaned out. But I mean, seriously, you will start your day more energized. You will start your day more clearly. I mean, your thinking process is just
huge.
Through the roof.
It's huge. Yeah. If I miss, like when I was in the hospital, when I had my surgery a couple months ago, I was in the hospital for 4 or 5 days and I hadn't had smoothies and, holy cow, I felt it. Like I felt different. I wasn't as energized throughout the day. But when I started, it was like, well, I have no clue how to do this, but you reach out to people and that do it and you ask, how do I do this? And what are different recipes and what are different things that I can put in? And then you get the hang of it and but yeah, it's huge. And I'm glad you brought that up and use your food in the way that works for you. Like, so for me, years ago, I had my gallbladder removed. Well, your gallbladder plays a huge part in digesting your food. And so for me, it was, okay, I need to better. And if you don't properly digest, then you don't absorb. Like you said, you're not getting all the nutrition from your food. I take very good full spectrum enzymes to help me break down my food. There's certain things on how you eat your food. So for example, I always eat like for dinner, for example, it's so good because I trained my son, right? So I always eat vegetables first because vegetables and fruits don't stay in your stomach to digest. They go straight through to your intestines. That's where you absorb the nutrients in those foods, not through your stomach. So you want to eat that first, and then you eat your protein, and then you have your carb if you're going to have a carb. A lot of us are raised to have meat and potatoes and a vegetable, right? Then you have your carb to help burn the protein. And the funniest thing you always see in the summertime, people always have fruit salad for dessert after a big barbecue.
Yeah.
So you've got this fruit that's sitting on top of your heavy meal on your stomach that's fermenting and you're getting none of the nutritional value out of that fruit. It's just sitting there waiting for that food you ate to break down and digest and go into your intestines. And it was all wasted. So it's really understanding, those things, your body will use food differently.
Yeah. It's funny is I hate fruit salad. I absolutely
do you?
despise fruit salad. And mainly, I think the reason why I don't like it is because the way my family makes it is they throw like
in Jell-O?
gallons. No, they throw like 1 million gallons of like whipped cream in it.
Oh, yeah, no.
But if it was in Jell-O, I would actually probably eat that. It's good Jell-O. The people, Jell-O's actually good for your hair and your nails. Eat Jell-O. Just sugar free. But I like to add my protein to Jell-O as well because that's a kind of a different, unique way to ingest my protein without having to take it the same way all the damn time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's this whole thing, it's a journey. you've got amazing stories surrounding your health and nutrition. I've got amazing stories around my own personal health and nutrition. We've both probably helped a lot of people along the way, whether it been through nutrition or health or fitness or whatever it is. But really, it's on you. And if it's something that you are concerned with, if it's something that you want to be around a lot longer for your children and your children's children, it's something you really need to take serious. And it's like Dave Daly says, the foundation of any success is built on the body. You have to take care of your body in order to be able to last long enough to see that success. Reach out to people. Reach out to people like Lauren. Reach out to people like Avril and Alex Baxter from Diamond Body Image. Reach out to people that are in the industry. Do we know everything? No. But here's the truth. We know enough people in the industry. If we're struggling with something, if we're struggling to help you, each and every one of us has learned along the way while we are helping other people to drop our own egos and to reach out and ask the people that do have those answers. Mm-hmm. So if you're struggling in any way, shape, or form, reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's always a pro out there who is willing to take the opportunity to help you reach your goals.
Well, I wouldn't be where I was without reaching out to people and saying, I only know so much. Teach me, help me. And they're happy to help. And it's learning about yourself. And you're absolutely right. Take responsibility for your own health. It's your body. It's your life. No one else is living in it. So take responsibility, because when your health sucks, it sucks bad.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Why don't we take the responsibility and tell people how they can find us?
They can find us on our website at gritandgracetv.com. You will find our videos and all the ways that we're available through audio, which is a lot of different channels. You can learn more about us. You can see the resources that we have on various shows. So if you click on the resources tab, we have different downloads there from past shows that we've mentioned. And if you have a comment or a question or a show topic, you can submit that on the comment or question tab. If the question is sensitive, that tab to submit is completely anonymous. We don't know who it's from. So we're here, Fridays are free for all Fridays. We kick back. We talk about whatever. We talk about what you want to talk about. And we answer viewer questions on Fridays. So get it all on our website, gritandgracetv.com.
Awesome. God, you're so good at that. I want to be just like you when I grow up. Anyways, hey, folks, thank you very much for checking out this episode of Grit and Grace. If you're a Fit Pro, do me a favor, drop your link to your website down in the chat, because I would love to be able to share that with people who come upon this broadcast. And we'll even do one more solid. We'll even add that link into the show notes for the podcast.
Yeah.
So please drop your links. Lauren, drop your links. And we will drop some links of some other great Fit Pros that we know of who have done so much to help us along our journeys. Mm-hmm. So until next time, everybody, thank you very much for watching. And if you're listening to this on Mile High Radio or the podcast, or tune in wherever you're listening to us, thank you very much. You make each day better for us. And I hope that we can inspire you to start that communication, because we need to talk about this stuff. We really do.
We do. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, y'all.